My grandkids are all into Legos, so our Christmas lists and birthday lists usually have a box of Legos on them for the grandkids, like Star Wars or whatever. And so it's a lot of fun to watch them unwrap them and lift the lid off and throw the pieces on the floor. And inevitably, our grandkids just go at it and take the pieces, start putting it together, totally disregarding the instructions that they've thrown to the side. And ultimately, that leads to a small disaster. Like, this is not turning out the way we thought it would. So I suggest, why don't you go back to the instructions? Maybe that'll help. So they take it all apart and start with the instructions, and sure enough, it works out. I think life is a lot like Legos. We build our lives one piece at a time, one choice at a time. And if you're like me, I tend to build my life on my instincts and randomly, like what seems best in the moment. And a lot of times we end up saying, wow, we didn't think it would turn out like this. Which brings me to Ephesians 2:20. I think Jesus has a better way for us. In Ephesians 2:20, we read that our lives are indeed like a building, block upon block, but that Jesus is the chief cornerstone, and we build it on him and on the teachings of the apostles. So there's the instructions. When I think about Jesus being the chief cornerstone in those days, the cornerstone was the first stone that was laid. The whole building was measured off of it. So Jesus, in a sense, drives and defines all we are and all we do and every choice we make. So think about the pieces of your life. If Jesus is the instructions, if he's the way to build, if he's the cornerstone, then there's the piece of servanthood, there's the piece of loving my enemies, the piece of generosity, the piece of dying to myself so that he might live through me. Just look at the pieces on the floor. And then look at Jesus. Start putting your life together. Start kicking in what he tells you to do. Start living the way that he lives. And suddenly life becomes meaningful. Now, some of us have already built quite a life. Maybe you need to take the pieces out. Take them all apart, put them back on the floor, and start over again. So let me welcome you to the joy of building your life according to Jesus, piece by piece, characteristic by characteristic, his way upon his way, so that in the end, you can have a life that really counts, that's meaningful and significant.